Welcome. PODical Son Podcast. I am your friend, your host, your brother, your uncle, James Harris III, a.k.a. Marvello Hathaway. Many of you know me, some of you don't, but you will definitely learn who I am and my effect and how I am affected by the state of Arizona, by the culture of music, by the black experience, and also by some of these people that have stopped by to share their story. One of them is a very good friend of mine, someone I've been able to admire, someone I've been able to watch. I used to look at this dude's bins outside the barbershop every time I popped in to sell my CDs and everything, and just got to watch him flourish into the businessman, to the entrepreneur that he has. He has cut some of your favorite NBA, NFL, and MLB athletes. He has put his hands on some politicians' heads. He has been a great father. He's been a great man, and I'm just thankful to have him here. AZ's #1 barber, and growing each and every day, my man, Mr. Brandon McFadden. Hey, what's going on, man?
Thank you.
Some of y'all know him as B.
I'm gonna take that clap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, thank you, bro. That's honorable, man. Definitely a lot of history out here in AZ. That's not Googleable.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Googleable?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make it one. PODical wasn't a word just a couple of weeks ago until I made it, but Googleable is definitely one we're gonna use. So, be it the fact we can't just look you up and your story is more held in, because you've always been a quiet person for as much as I've known. I've seen you way more than I've heard you.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that you've been able to stop by and just tell us about your start. We're gonna jump right into it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me in.
Yes,
Appreciate the invite. I don't take these moments lightly at all. It's very rarely I get to reflect back and express some of the true ins and outs, like the science behind, the way I've moved. So, once again, thank you for letting me having this opportunity.
Yes, sir. Always.
But no, it started with just passion and really intellect, and just realizing I had a God-given talent to see something that was there before it was there. It's like artwork. You being a musician, you know how to kind of, either make pain into music.
Right.
And, mainly it'll be pain, or it can just be experiences. So that's definitely been a talent of mine, to be able to visualize a haircut on somebody and be able to art that out.
Right.
Craft it out with my clippers and comb.
Right.
So, it started when 97, 17 years old.
Wow.
And, I was always I love getting my hair cut. It was definitely tough to find a good barber that could cut my texture.
Right.
So, we don't have the type of styles that's out right now, like tapers, and, of course everybody had waves, but at that time I didn't think waves were possible.
Right.
So I could appreciate a good haircut when I found one. And when I found that I could cut hair for my buddy that messed his hair up, I would just stop by his house, my buddy Donnell.
Okay.
Guy I used to play basketball with on my team. He stopped by his house, and he messed up his hair, and he was like, "Man, Brandon, fix this for me real quick. Do this, do that." And grabbed the clippers and worked that line out real quick.
Right.
I said, "That's it." And so went home, grabbed my little cousin TJ, and did a ball fade, put a Nike sign in his head, and got on the calculator, and just realized, like, there's a mathematics at the time. It was a lot of money to be made for at a young age.
Right.
So, I just decided to make an executive decision. I was playing, varsity basketball at the time. So this goes back to, the real Jump Street. So, definitely was a privilege to play for Apollo High School.
Wow.
But there were some big dogs coming out. We coming up after Mike Bibby, and Mike Bibby was probably by far one of the biggest athletes to come out of AZ.
Right.
So I was banging boards with Richard Jefferson probably since we called him BCI at the time, tournaments. So junior high.
Wow, I remember that.
Yeah. So Richard was just so different and athletic than the average. But shout out to my boy Chris Boylan. I don't know where he at these days, but he was a dog, and he definitely. If somebody was to say Chris Boylan to Richard right now, he'd be like, his eyes would get big because Chris used to give Richard the business.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, they both averaged about 28, 34 points a game, but Chris was a dog, and it just didn't pan out into a professional career. But for my folks that know from class of '98 and those that in the small community, Chris Boylan was that guy. Right. There's a lot of legends that came out of West. Chris Newton, just I go on and on. Kevin Woodbury,
Kevin Lamar, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that didn't make it to the main stage. So, once I realized, I didn't take the game that serious, like I should have.
Right.
So I had to choose wisely, to pursue something that I knew I could excel in. Right. Knowing that the climate of Arizona at the time in Phoenix, that there was only one good barbershop on each side of town. So
right.
I was like,
do you remember the names of those?
Oh yeah, Esquire, OK's. Esquire was Central. That's where all the Suns players go. Kevin Johnson.
I was right next door to First Institutional.
First Institutional, Pastor Stewart. Yeah. Shout out to Pastor Stewart.
Yes, sir.
But rest in peace, George Greathouse. Definitely one of the icons out here, and one of the ones that inspired me to, not shop hop. Right. He had a shop. I didn't know the business behind that. He bought his building. So but just that was a norm for me to see one barber for years and years and years.
Right.
So my pops take him to the shop. That was in the back of my mind. I just never thought about cutting hair, but until I picked up the clippers and I was like, 17, and I said, you know what, this right here could work, because at the time, like I said, Westside really didn't have a major strong barbershop. Another level was out there, but it wasn't too strong at the time.
Right. So a barbershop is more than just a workplace for you, but a sacred space, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's my church.
Yeah.
It's my home. It's my people. It's the village. It's the country club for our people. It's a place to go to, and they can just unwind and don't have to worry about, being just, they can be themselves.
Right.
After a while, they get comfortable. That's what I know, and that's on the the barbershop crew to make that environment comfortable for the customers. So they can't come in and unwind.
Right.
Nowadays everything's on appointment, so a lot of things have changed since COVID.
Right.
So I do still try and keep it traditional as possible. But I definitely see myself in my tail end of my career to adjust to more of a set schedule. But I still love taking walk-ins.
Right.
You got to do it all. If you limit yourself to just appointments, it's not going. You kind of hurting yourself.
Right.
You kind of limit yourself from some good potential great clients.
Right.
So
got some questions for you, man. I just want to jump around a little bit. Such a interesting job.
Yes.
A barber, because you're not just cutting the hair.
Excuse me, shout out to the Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah,
I got my Kool-Aid out
Hopefully
here.
everything is good, man. My wife put that together.
Thank you very much.
Kool-Aid, no alcohol in that. Y'all know how I get down, but yeah. So, tell me one of the most impactful conversations you've ever had cutting a head. I'm sorry.
It's always, it's like rhythm. You get signs. So it's hard to pinpoint one conversation, because there's always different times in my life where I've had valid conversations at that time in my life. But I definitely would say I've just been blessed with the right people to come in my life at the right time. Even like yourself, having this conversation right now is special. But to gain something out of a conversation is such a calculative thought that to say most impactful. You know what? I mean, it's not in the barbershop, but I'll tell you a few strong moments that jump out at me.
Okay.
For one, Pastor Stewart, when he gave me my blessings, to told me to just keep doing what I'm doing at the Martin Luther King March. It meant so much to me because I just didn't realize who was watching me. You know, so I took that took that a certain way. You know, knowing my responsibility that I have with dealing with people, dealing with the public. I don't want to misguide them with information. So, and I'm not, saying it all, but I'm definitely live a righteous life. So I have to pass on my jewels that I've gained, and so the seeds can get planted in good people, like it was installed in me. So Pastor Stewart gave me my blessings. That was a good one. Remember cutting Tony Yayo, and at the time, surrounded by a bunch of people in his room. They don't deal with random barbers,
right?
So they had that one barber named Light, but he's like, I made him blow out his cheeks.
Okay.
When I did a shave with the clipper, and there's one more layer you can go with the clipper to get it closer.
Okay.
Before you get the electric shave or razor.
Right.
I made him blow out his cheek real wide.
Okay.
And he ain't never experienced that. And he was like, "This a real barber, yo." He told everybody in the room. And, he was just very passionate about my skill and craft.
Right.
So, when you're dealing with people that's been around the block and, you get blessings from some credible people, that let you know that, you're good at what you do.
Right.
Definitely that. But, it's man. I just, think of recently, a couple of days ago, I cut this older lady that just lost her husband back in November. And one of my guy, Cap, his mom, he was like, "Man, I need you to get my mom together." So, she came in pretty down and out, head full of hair, I call that a blank canvas.
Okay.
And she showed me a picture. She's like, "Can you get me something close to this?" No problem. I got you. They're from Detroit, so
okay.
A lot of folks from out that way with the moisture in the air, they got a lot better texture.
Right.
So all you gotta do is moisturize it, put the right product in there, and it'll curl up real good.
Okay.
So I was able to get that style put to the T, and just having a conversation with her, using my experiences about seeing people and just being able to move forward no matter what. I was able to talk to her and give her the more confidence to help her go forward after losing her husband, because she was just very depressed.
Right.
And it's understandable, but as my job as a barber, it's bigger than that.
Right.
So just getting her together, and her just, when I handed her that mirror, just realizing, how much life she had left. I think that was probably that was pretty big for me. But that's just all day. It's always different scenarios. I don't have no script when I deal with clients. Sometimes they want to talk, sometimes they don't.
Right.
And it's the same with me. It is a challenge, being this far in my career sometimes to make it more than a haircut.
Right.
So
it's like an experience for the most part.
For especially younger people, anybody, but definitely younger people.
Right.
They just don't have that outlet. I find out, some kids don't have fathers, and it's the mom or grandma's bringing them in. There's just a lot of different mentalities going on. Always behind the haircut. So
sheesh. It'd
be my job to kind of poke the bear.
Yeah.
Like, "Hey man, what's going on?"
Right.
And get some true insight depending on where they're at. Like, yo, it don't matter if you're 12, 10, 19, 25, it's gonna get better. So, like yourself, for you to get to this point, you've had to go through a lot of obstacles to fulfill your dream. So things just have to line up, and I just enjoy. I realize my purpose when I get to find out what's going on behind the person in the chair, and realizing like, okay, this person needed some talk and some conversation to help them evolve.
Right.
So yeah, just being a barber, man, it's a lot more than just cutting hair.
Right, definitely. How do you approach each haircut? Now, I know you mentioned with the lady that just lost her husband, you had a blank canvas to work with, and I'm pretty sure you also probably went a little bit into the haircut before she actually started sharing with you everything. So there's an aspect of being like a psychologist, psychiatrist, there's a tactic to it. Is there, or is it a deeper connection with every client that you serve? Is it just technical, or what do you think?
Yeah, like you say, it's there's a science behind it for sure. Most of the time, my mind is already made up. By the time they sit in the chair, I already know what I'm gonna do. But I'm still asking what they want.
Right.
And if they sometimes they do recommend something better than what I would recommend, but typically, it's what I look for the weak spots.
Okay.
Like especially they got thin spot on the crown or a weak spot on the hairline. That's how I can kind of base a haircut off of. Cause I'm like, sometimes people be like, make me look like this. I'm like, how?
Right.
This ain't
cowlicks and everything. You got
no, they ain't got no hair, but they got picture of a whole different person.
Full hair.
Right. Yeah. So you got to be realistic with people.
Right.
But so honestly, you got to be. There's like I said, there's a science, but I got some good products behind me, Design Essential.
Okay.
That helps, flourish, hair flourish, and I just try to get them on the right track to, take care of their own stuff. Where the shampoo, conditioner that doesn't have alcohol in it, and then the Herbal Complex 4, it's a little pomade, and it really helps hair grow back.
Okay.
So I just try and give them the right information so they can keep coming back to me, and we can, they can enjoy their life, and I can have a better canvas to work with and train their hair. Okay. But people change their styles, so just go with the flow and meet the client where he's at, and if you want people change for the summer, give them something lighter. For the winter, they want to grow their beard, stuff like that. Biggest thing, you got to listen. Right. I as a veteran as I am, I still have to listen. Right. So I think that's definitely a talent. There's some. That's with everything. There's no profession that you can't. You can't get past without the five senses, right? Sight, ear, all that. So I'm laughing because yesterday my son had a game and there was a referee that was deaf. Okay. And that was a problem because I'm yelling timeout. Oh wow. And some of the plays weren't getting called both ways, and it's an AAU league, so at this level there's no angry coaches like that. Like it's typically everything's on respect. So if you say something, they're gonna listen. So I'm saying something to this coach about some of the missed calls. I'm like, hey, can you watch that? First time, second time, third time, still no eye contact, no nothing. I'm like, what's going on? So halftime goes. I'm like, God, kids, sit down. Let me talk to these refs, and having a little debate and talking to the other one, like, yo, tell them how I feel. Right. But by this the fourth, fifth time me talking, so I'm a little irate. Like, so he's like, can I talk now? You done? I'm like, he's like, he can't hear. I'm like, that would have been good to know.
All right. Oh, so you found out after the fact?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was a interesting situation, but they worked it. They tried to work it out. I had to go to HR on them. Like, listen, man, just give me the heads up before the game. Right. And that would make sense. HR was good. They was like, okay, we'll work with you and apologize for it. But yeah, just a little whole mishap. But yeah, you have to use all your senses. I remember this one blind customer came in, and he wanted his beard a certain way.
Okay.
I remember they wasn't one of my clients, but I put him in the right chairs when I had the shop. He was doing his beard, and when he was done with his haircut, he was feeling his beard, and he was, man, I want it skinnier. I'm like, how does man know he want it skinnier, but he could feel it with his hand?
Right.
He's like, I want my beard skinnier, smaller.
Yeah, your senses are enhanced whenever you lose one, right?
Yeah. So that was very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's shift, man. We both have a mutual friend who unfortunately is no longer with us, but he has created a huge impact in this city. His name is synonymous with the likes of many other people like him who unfortunately lost their lives to police brutality and police that have been given a position of power that I still don't believe they deserve. But your brother, my brother, Rumain Brisbane, man that I love. I've known him since high school. Friend of mine, a rapper by the name of 2Cav, introduced me to him. Short story. He was a sophomore. I was a freshman. We both attended Tolleson at this time. I know he kind of moved around, but we met there. And my freshman year, I turned 16. He I had a birthday party, and my mom was like, "Okay, I don't know all these kids, so I'm gonna give you a number, maybe 30. I'm gonna let you bring 30 kids into this house." So 15 I could pick from church. 15 I picked from school, from school, and and that was it. So I made invitations. My mom and some of the ladies from church, they made food. So it was jumping.
Real sweet 16. Huh?
Yeah, man. And two people showed up unannounced. One was 2Cav, and the other was Rumain Brisbane, my man Rose Show. And I don't know how they got past my mom and dad, because you had to come through the front door, go through the living room, kitchen to get back. We had a garage that was walled off, so you couldn't just go right in the garage. But that's when I met him. Years later, his cousin was a good friend of mine who went to my dad's church. His name was Shanisha Taylor. Went to a barbecue with her and seen Rumain off in the corner with Jesse, and they kicking, they doing their little thing. And that's when our friendship really took place. By that time, we were both out of high school, and it was real spotty when I seen him. But two things he would always ask, how's Shanisha doing? And then what's up with your music? And he was like, kind of like a fan to a certain degree. Showed up to a couple of shows. Good dude, man. Good dude. And I loved him. I thanked him for several things. And actually, I got to spend some time with him at his house 2 days before his untimely passing. He had let me borrow 50 Shades of Grey, the book. His girl had it, and my girl at the time wanted to read it. So he's like, man, go ahead, bro. You family, Same questions. How's the music? What's up with Shanisha? And at this time, I didn't know, what was going on with Shanisha. But I did, still do my music. And maybe the week leading up to the last day I seen him, we had some real dope conversations. Yeah. And that was my share with him. He was a brother. He was a cousin. He was just a dope dude, man. But I know he was a barbershop rat. I know he used to kick it at the barbershops a lot. You know what I mean? He did his thing. I ain't gonna talk about what he did at the barbershop, but I just remember how dope of an individual he was, and his passing kind of ignited and helped people understand the type of spirit that he was, the type of a young man that we all got to know, and I just want you to, share a little bit with it about him. A conversation me and you had, if you allow me, wanted to speak on him a little bit. Before we talked on the phone before this conversation, and I wanted to make sure that that we gave him his roses along with me giving you yours. But
no, for sure.
Yeah.
That's our bro. God bless his soul.
Yeah.
And it was family and friends. It's something it's a lifetime of healing process.
Yeah.
He definitely missed. He was a funny guy. We talking about the barbershop, Romaine. I seen so many different versions of him. And one of the last, chapters of him, being in the barbershop was all his fatherhood. Bringing his daughters in to get their hair done. Yeah. He was dedicated. So I think that's probably, he gets his credit for that. When they speak on as kids, all his kids got some beautiful kids. But it definitely impacted the city. Hard to get into depth with it. The impact, everybody dealt with it different. I mean, it's not a real good way to deal with it.
Yeah.
It affects so many people. No amount of money can change or patch it up. I think overall it makes you appreciate people while they're here. And I was very fortunate he was able to see him, right before like that.
Yeah.
He had gave my kid's mom, she was pregnant with my son at the time, that same day, he gave her a bottle of water while she was working. She used to do his daughter's hair. And so he just had a good heart all the way around. He always had the best of luck, but he was definitely, he pushed it, till the wheels fell off. And he was a child of God. He's I just use him as motivation, in my life for I had to de-stress, in the best way possible, to not have no anger or I feel a certain way, but there's a saying, you live by it, you die by it.
Right.
I don't feel like he deserved, because he was taking McDonald's to his little girl.
Yeah.
So it's a hard pill to swallow when you try to say a person had a pill bottle and thought it was a gun and gets away with it. So, like I said, I just tried not to. I had to dig deep, not to carry that frustration, as I know others would do for me. If something was happening to me, I know it would be a problem. So, I'm just trying. 11 years later, still processing it. Like going to the gym this morning, you got spotters on the bench press, and I just use Romaine as my motivation. I don't need no spotter, and we've been getting stronger together. So that's just where I stay connected. And it sounds crazy, but it's my way of coping.
Right. So,
if anybody's dealing with stuff, especially clients, I'd tell them, like, from my experience, like, you have to just exercise, because if you hold stuff in, it messes you up. So, to the TV land, get your heart, get your health right.
Yeah.
Get your happiness together. It's still out there. It's still more life to live and good people to meet. But you're gonna lose some people, and you just gotta cherish the memories that you have with them. Like you said, you had a good, or got to see him right 2 days before. I had probably a 2-hour conversation with him. Maybe about a month before. We've been friends for a time over about 20 years, 20-something years, 24 years.
Right.
So, yeah, we got to talk about everything. It's just crazy that, I just don't have that many friends I can talk to I can have them type of conversations. So, it was something I can hang on to, and just everything. Like, It's still special, you know. So it's hey, it is what it is now, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
God bless any and every black man out here trying to survive and, you know, stay protected from all evil.
Yeah, my release with him in a way to get over musically, I think it was more accessible. I made a song for him. It's called Tired. It actually featured Pastor Seward's son, Big Woe. So he actually did some speaking on it, and I sung, and it was a way for me to release for him. And I always say, and I use it, and I'll say it in every podcast, because that was my big bro. I'm a big bro to two sisters, but he was definitely a big bro to me. So I always say, "Remain will remain," you know, and that's something that encourages me. Like you said, you're not needing a spotter. You know, I'm just thinking like, I still have my life. I still have my ability to do things, and I'm still alive to actually want to go after more. So someone like him, who was definitely a go-getter, you know, and he would use next to nothing, and he would come up, you know, right. Who am I to complain when I still have my life and ability to use it?
Yeah.
So thankful for him. He touched a lot of hearts and souls, man. So let me ask you this, just kind of shifting again. How do you keep your passion alive on the days when it feels like a grind? I know we spoke on Remain, but what are some other things that motivate you on days where you don't want to be that barber / psychiatrist / pillow / ear? What motivates you?
You know what? Honestly, man, it sounds crazy, but there's no bad days when it comes to barbering.
Okay.
I love it that much.
Okay.
You know, I can't hoop no more like I used to, so I can't play them. You know, when you step on the sports, you get to let all your frustration out. You get to, you know, be your altered ego.
Right.
So that's all barbering is for me. Like, it's been good to me. I found ways to, you know, catapult off it and excel and reach heights that are very rarely reached. And it's but still a lot more to do. But, you know, overall, when it comes down to how do I do it? It's the love of the game. It's the love for, you know, if you sign up for something, you got to do it.
Right.
So, you know, I knew when I signed up, there was going to be a long haul, generations to come, you know, and to cut. So right now I'm on my fourth generation of families. Wow. So it's great to see, and I feel responsible. I have a slight, you know, yes, bond, but you know, I definitely feel it's a good responsibility to have to make people look good. You know, knowing that they didn't get to meet they didn't get to see their grandparents like I did. You know what I'm saying? Or the texture of their hair comes from so high up, and it's so familiar for me that it's the bloodline that makes me just gives me courage to, you know, just perform my craft at a high level.
Right.
You know, like I said, it's cutting hair, but since I can't do what I was trained to do, you know, playing sports, I had to turn that into my craft and passion for cutting hair.
Right.
So, you know, I definitely feel getting a little tired. You know, my body, I can't cut like I used to when it comes to like 7 to 7. I'm not doing that no more.
Right.
So, I just have to listen and not overdo it, so I can enjoy it for the long haul. But for the most part, I'm good. Like, you know, still cut back to back.
Right.
You know, but I just can't overdo it, and that's just reacting to my flow, my body, and yes, yeah.
Right. Another person that we've actually spoke off camera about, and you kind of open up to me, because this is a big part of your history. where I met you at, 67th Avenue in Indian School, right next door to the Jungle, one of the craziest apartment complexes that you will ever see in Phoenix, Arizona. A barbershop called Another Level, that you mentioned it a little bit earlier. Take us back to how you got there, and share with us what you will as far as your experiences there and how that helped your growth.
Oof. Yeah, no, that was the village right there. How I got there was because a lot of my clientele was coming from that barbershop. When I was in barber school, I was asking where they was getting a haircut from, and I was snatching them from Trevor Brown in Maryville High School. Shout out to Chicken Hawk, because once I cut Chicken Hawk, you know what Chicken Hawk is?
I think so.
I used to hoop.
What's his real? You know his real name? Well, that don't matter.
Mike Hawkins. But
okay.
He was very known for left-handed game.
Okay.
But anyways, he had a big mouth. So once I cut his hair and got him right, he told everybody.
Okay.
So I started getting more business, and like I said, they was all coming from that shop. So I reached out to the shop owner. It was Carl Holmes at the time, and told him who I was, and I'm like, I'm trying to come in when I graduate in a few months. I'm coming to you. And I definitely had like 5-10 other shop owners trying to recruit me. So, but I wanted to stay in the neighborhood, Maryville.
Right.
So yeah, I linked up with Carl. Carl was a very seasoned barber. He was 28 at the time, coming from Milwaukee.
Okay.
Shout out to Atkinson Ave.
Okay.
He brought out some good barbers. Dirty Work Kurt,
yeah.
Lamont Carson.
Okay.
Good, very good professional barber from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He still calls me to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, good friend of mine. So I decided to go there because a lot of my clientele was coming from there, and I needed to learn a lot more. So I feel like there's some experienced barbers in there. It was probably like seven of them. So me jumping in there, 18 years old, being a young buck, I had to navigate and make my mark among some heavyweights.
Right.
And it was really a shifting of the time. Like, tapers were coming in. So I had a different style of cutting versus the high and tights.
Okay.
So that's what took another level to the next notch.
Okay.
When they was cool already. But when I came in, I had my truck with switches, my rodeo with switches. Brought my clientele. I added some flair to it.
Oh yeah.
And then as time went on, I got more familiar being under the cloth of Carl Holmes. I was able to learn how to manage and run a shop and deal with people get out my shell a lot more.
Right.
And then a few years later, he linked up with Mike. We all know it's Mike Mills.
Yes, sir.
So Mike got in the game, and things really got serious after that.
Right.
As far as the shop,
right.
As far as like, we modeled it. We just stepped it up a lot more on our marketing. I was in charge of the marketing part, so I put together some cool flyers and just really started painting the city with, South Side, East Side.
Oh yeah.
About another level.
Yeah.
So we could become a household name.
Oh yeah.
And we had so much traffic that you couldn't talk. Black communities or culture so small in AZ that everybody knew about us. If it wasn't us, it was Fade Tight on the South.
Fade Tight. Wow.
So shout out to Mark Justice and their whole crew over there. He's out in Mesa now, but
okay.
So that was actually my competition. I used as competition. I felt like they was Chicago, I was the Lakers.
Okay.
So Fade Tight had a strong buzz in the street.
Right.
And I was trying to get another level to that point, if not better.
Right.
So, yeah, had a few award competitions, had the best shops, top notch. We had to couldn't cut our way in. You had to vote. Like,
okay,
people had when they came in, they had a little tablet. They had to choose 3 shops, best clothing store in the city, best soul food restaurant in the city, type stuff, hood Grammys type.
Right.
So, oh yeah, fade tight, man. Us and fade tight. I remember one year it got into it. It's like a draw in the votes, so they had to take it to the crowd.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that happened.
Yeah.
Two barbershops battling in the crowd, and that's how heavy the street was. Southside was deep. West side, Maryville was strong.
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah.
You know, it was year 2000. So that was definitely one of the biggest, best moments for my career that I liked it. You know, that I was like, okay, we made it.
Yeah.
There's also one other moment, man, after I bought the shop and start doing my thing with it. Shout out to Juice. What's his name
Richie
now?
Anderson.
Yeah, Richie.
Now, right?
Rick.
Yeah. Rick Evans.
Ricky Evans.
Yeah.
My dog.
Yeah.
No disrespect, dog. You my dog.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
You've been doing your thing for a minute.
Yeah.
He ever sent the Source magazine to another level.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was definitely one of the best moments, you know, of probably in AZ history. You know, under the radar to get recognized from the Source magazine to be known as one of the best shops in the state, known for the culture.
Right.
You know, and I remember just traveling. Me and my buddy Slush, we used to go to Vegas like we was going to Scottsdale.
Okay.
Oh man, I was going. It was not a role model, but I seen some good AZ folks out there sometimes.
Right.
But I just remember being at the airport and being able to buy a Source magazine with my shop in there, and I'm like, this is it.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere in the nation, right, in the state,
Right.
in the world, or you know, the nation. So that was definitely one of the best moments mentally. There's a lot of stuff, you know. Success is hard to touch. You know, like this is successful. You put all this together. This is successful. And I appreciate you doing this.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know,
sir. Absolutely.
So sometimes success is hard to touch. Something you got to. It's more of a feeling. So that was definitely one moment that sticks out to me.
Right.
No.
Yeah. For all those people that are watching, I mean, you know, we're Phoenix based. Are you originally from here?
Yes, sir.
You born
West.
here, born and raised? Okay. What hospital you was born in?
Good Sam.
Good Sam. That's the one downtown?
McDowell.
McDowell
and 11th Street.
11th Street, yes, sir.
Or
Okay,
3rd
so
Street.
you're from here. I was transplanted here, but I've been here since 7 or 8. But LA, New York, Atlanta, you know, you would think about culture being so deep and so rich in these areas, but when you come to Phoenix, you know, there's a lot of culture here, and I could say probably around the time we graduated, between 95 to 2000, that's when the culture points really started to take its effect and grow and expand to what it is right now. When it comes to barber, now I like to say, I think I was one of the first. The group that I was in was one of the first R&B groups from out of Phoenix, Arizona, which was Heat.
Sure.
Another level, you know.
C-Note.
Yes, sir. C-Note, Bobcat, Tiger, Veil, Storm, Perry.
Perry.
Yeah, Rich Reddy. And then even Noni. But when it comes to, you know, the culture of the black experience, barbershops, you know, you're one of them, you know, if not the one to know to this day, as far as want to come in, get a haircut or just to get a good conversation.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah, man. And it started for me knowing you. One thing you may not remember is you always purchase one of my CDs. Me and 2Cav would be out selling our CDs, whether it was one of his, one of mine's, Doc Pro, mixtape, whoever we was at. If it wasn't us, it was a mix shop. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was a little bit 75th, yeah. So man,
you had a good spirit, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you're artist. So
yeah.
I definitely had my whip at the time with this good system. So
yeah.
I definitely know show
throw
support.
it in there. I want to say sometimes you didn't even throw it in there. You know, it was just kind of like the effect. Maybe it was the first couple of times and you just trusted the work, and that's reverse that to you. people don't mind paying more or less, you know, just because they know your work, they know your worth. Yeah. And always a quiet person, you would have to kind of get the engine started talking to you before you would turn around and have a conversation back. Yeah. But I think it was more your focus and more you want to be more in tune with your craft. So I'm definitely thankful to have witnessed, you know, your greatness.
You pause right there because you know I get told that a lot. You know, the Aquarius in me makes me very observant.
Okay.
But also, I say one of the biggest factors that, you know, I've, you know, just being Men's Mental Awareness Month, right? I had an uncle, man, my mom's brother, rest his soul, but he was killed by his best friend like a month before I was born. So my mom was, you know, threw my mom off a lot. So she had me at 8 months, and it just, that effect, seeing how much it affected her, it messed with me, getting closer to people.
Right.
Especially then, you know, going to junior high, we got to go to this man's parole hearing, trying to let him out, and I was able to put a face with this person. Like, damn, you don't want to take my uncle away, smash him with his own hydraulics. So,
goodness.
Yeah, it's still hard for me to get close to people. So when I do get close to people, it's because I'm trusting people.
Right.
So I've learned to, you know, let that, it's still in the forefront, but I still just had to learn. Like I said earlier, there's still good people out there.
Right.
Everybody ain't, there's people out there will stab you, close to you, but everybody's not like that.
Right.
So I think that's more of a, you know, when you gain your wisdom, you get to read people better.
Right.
As you age and kind of put people in the right place in your life.
Right.
That's it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I like that. Speaking about mental health, especially for black men, what ways do you see the barbershop as a hub altogether? I know it's a lot different now. I know a lot of people are on call, or they'll actually come to you. Do you feel that the culture is the same as opposed to 20 years ago now in the barbershop?
It's changed somewhat, but at the end of the day, that sensation of getting all that hair removed from you, that's a priceless feeling. Of, right. You know, still, if you got your bald head, you still got a clean cut. You know, it's still that feeling of, you know, freshness, cleanness. You know, the environments have changed. No, I think the biggest thing is probably the barbers have changed. You know, a lot of the OG barbers have passed away, so there's not too much guidance out there, and there's a lot of YouTubers that's just picking up. It's like one-hit wonders on art and music artists. Right. So there's a lot of traditions that's getting passed away. So when you do find a good barber, you know, they're successful for a reason, right? Because they've learned to hone in on their art and build good relationships with people. So that part of the game is always going to be, you know, that's what's going to make it flourish, right? But basics, man. If a great haircut is priceless feeling, you're gonna want to go back, and if I can get that same feeling repeated, I'm gonna do it. Right. And you're gonna do it. So it's and it's never gonna change. I don't think no robot will ever take our, you know, knock us off our feet. So I heard that. It's definitely a strong connection. And actually, you know, barbers, you know, speaking for myself, like, you know, we absorb a lot. You know, I'm sure you've learned a lot from this conversation, right? As far as, you know, the side effects or behind the scenes, but like I realize that you have to really detax and almost daily wash away stuff so you don't take it home with you, right? Type stuff. But yeah, first many years I didn't understand that part. Man, okay. Right. And I understand that. I understand that totally. Yeah, the conversation is like,
I could go through a whole day of not speaking to anyone, and you have a professional. You actually have to, take that in. So that's insight right there. So let's just say you leave this building right now, go up the street, a couple blocks west, and you pass a young man, 17-year-old, I don't know, let's call him Brandon. Mm-hmm. And he wants to cut hair. What do you tell your younger self as far as what you've done, who you've met, the experiences, the gains, the losses? What would you tell him? What would you tell your younger self?
Stay behind that chair like I did.
Okay.
Don't hop around. Don't waste your day because you got freedom. Mm-hmm. Taking long lunch breaks, going with your friend, going with the other barbers. Stay behind your chair and treat it like a true profession from 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. Get your hour lunch break, but be dedicated. I would tell a 17-year-old B or young man coming up, the more work you put into it, the more money you're going to make. Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably one of the biggest factors of my career, that when people think of me, they think of a barber, like a real barber, not just someone that was just doing it for attention. Right. So not to say barber doing it for attention, but if barbers aren't successful like 2 to 5 years and you ain't got no strong clientele, you might want to look in the mirror. You might want to dress a little better. You might want to invest more into your product, invest more into your knowledge of cutting, find out ways to reel people in, right, and get them to come back. Because if you get them one time, that's cool, but are they coming back? Right. They keep coming back. They gonna tell their friends. Are they gonna go to work and shut down the place with the best haircut? Are they gonna step out and get at least 10 compliments, right, in between cuts? So stuff like that. That's what you got to do to build. So I'll tell younger be a dog. Right. Be a dog and stay dedicated. Stay behind that chair.
Right. Now, with your children that are here, do you see a little bit of, besides facial features and genes and all that, do you see a little bit of that hustler in them?
Oh yes, in different ways. Especially, they all had different personalities depending on what I was going through at that time. Mm-hmm. They on TV land, I ain't see my kids, but all my kids look like me. Mm-hmm. But personality-wise, they definitely carry different strong characteristics for what I'm about. London, she's very wise beyond her years. She's already learned how to do taxes at 12 years old. Come on. And just gifted. Yeah. Stuff you probably can't teach in a book. She loves to cook. Very creative. Very good personality. But, kids are special. They're definitely going to enhance your DNA times a million. Right. My son's a pretty good athlete coming up. Okay. Basketball? He started to love the hoop game. Mm-hmm. 10 years old, little Brandon. Okay. Playing with Legacy basketball organization. And then Paris is such a spin-off of me, just, a female version. It's beautiful to see. She's moving around at 21. She just FaceTime me from Mexico and California. Oh, wow. Yeah, she's doing me. I'm like, you are my child. Right. But she's working, graduating from college, and she's going back to U of A. She's very successful. So that's the beauty about being a father. You get to see your hard work pay off. Like, you can't micromanage once they get to like 13, 14. Uh-huh. You can't be micromanaging them like that. That micromanaging comes from 0 to 13. Right. Like, and it's kind of like, you gotta you monitor them, but they get a little old.
Right.
You know, they kind of get to feeling themselves. So,
right.
I was gonna be a kid, but you gotta put that structure and that fear in at 13. But you can do all that, and it's still gonna bump their head, and it's part of being a parent,
right.
Part of being a kid. So just hopefully they bump their heads younger, the better.
Right.
Just learn from it. So love it.
Wow. Man, well, listen. Camera's right here. If you could just give any shout outs, encouragement, advice, other than what you've already said, of course. Just a walk-off statement to the people out there that's watching.
Man, it's just, I mean, how long I got?
All right, man, go ahead. It's all yours.
Life. Listen, with these hands and with your hands, you can do a whole lot. You can touch the world. You can go. These hands can make you a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's the intuition part that we as people have to hone in on and understand them thoughts and visions that you get are real.
Right.
And they come from a higher place.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be scared of them thoughts, because fear will definitely hold you back.
Right.
And what I realized, on the other side of that fear is encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some of the biggest challenges that I've had to put myself through, was conquer my fears.
Mm-hmm.
So conquer your fears, live righteously, love your family, love your friends, give your seat up, hold the door open a little bit more. Just, try and make this a better place, because you're going to need some good karma out there. I've definitely been blessed to be here. I'm human. Like, I've had to use a few cat lives to step foot today. So
right.
I don't take that lightly. And if anything I say or could do to help out situations, I love cutting hair for going back to school, different charity events, homeless kids, or women domestic violence. I'm in a few different part of a few different organizations that feed my soul. It's not about the money. It's about just serving purpose with these hands. And whether if it's just for a moment, it's a win.
Right.
So just keep winning, keep serving your purpose. God bless you. AZ up.
There we go. When you hear it, and I'll tell you, you're definitely an Arizona icon. Whether it was through your spirit or through your actual craft with your hands, man, you have touched some minds, some souls, some hair follicles, some beards. You have done it, and I'm thankful to have known you. I don't even think I've ever sat in your chair. Crazy enough, I don't even think you've ever cut my head, but I've been around you enough to know that you are one of them. And like I told you off camera before we started, man, there's people that I run into, whether they're on their way to you or just left, and your impact is immense here. So I pledge that to you, and I challenge you to take this next generation of people that the one-hit wonders, as you said, and
polish them up,
ignite that fire. You know what I mean? Because it's cool being viral. It's
right.
Cool being, getting your numbers up and everything. But when you can touch hearts, that's something different. And from Tony Ayo to Sean Marion, I think I've seen, to a couple comedians, Larry Fitzgerald, AC Green, these people trust in you. And I think some of these people I've actually seen on more than one picture.
Yeah,
so I know.
Shout out to Michael Blackson. He just flew in for me.
Michael Blackson, yeah, I seen you fill in with him. I seen that. Dope, man. So I thank you for not just being on this show, but for being on this earth, for being in the state of Arizona, and putting that basketball down so you can go ahead and take over this barbershop and this AZ culture, man. Thank you, brother.
No, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. PODical Son Podcast. We will be back again. We got some more people. We working our way. Feel like we done already started at the top, you know, with some of the people that we've already had on here. So thank y'all for sitting and listening. We're going to get better. We're going to get stronger. We're probably going to have this man here again. We might even have to take it to his shop to do it the next time.
Hey, bring it.
Yes, sir. PODical Son Podcast. God bless.